There are those who like books, and there are those who like movies. It then becomes interesting when asking who likes movie adaptations of books, especially considering that novels inspired at least a third of all films. Some people love to see their favorite novels come to life on the silver screen, while others loathe how the film industry butchers good material. However, judging guidelines might help those movie critics and book enthusiasts agree about the essential elements for a great movie adaptation. Introducing the Judging Movie Adaptation Guidelines, or JMAG. Please note that JMAG has one basic assumption. Books and movies are different mediums of entertainment. The most important principle of JMAG is the spirit. By looking in the dictionary, spirit can be referred to the book's inner qualities or nature. But another way of looking at it is as the story's effects, themes, and message. It is inevitable that movies might employ changes to the source material due to time constraints, but most book fans and authors will be happy with an adaptation as long as the spirit is carefully transferred. One good example of a movie with spirit would be Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Although some movie elements were changed, or even left out, the book's effects, the magic, themes, the adventures and struggles, and message about friendship and destiny were maintained. On the other hand, the movie Eragon practically disregarded the source material by leaving out and changing too many key points of the original story, resulting in an unfaithful and dispirited retelling. The next principle of JMAG is the story. In 1924, an attempt was made to perfectly adapt Frank Norris's McTeague. The 112,737 words long novel thus became a 9.5-hour feature, which then had to be cut into an incomprehensible 2-hour movie called Greed. Unless a book is adapted into multiple movies, which would usually require lucrative amounts of money, parts of the story must be removed or even changed. One example of such a story alteration would be the series of unfortunate events. Only some events from 3 books of the series were actually used to constitute the movie's screenplay, and then story changes were added to maintain plot congruency. A movie with better story adapting would be like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, an extremely faithful story retelling with only a few changes to C.S. Lewis's original. The following principle of JMAG is the characters. During adaptation, the roster will sometimes be changed in order to make more time for certain characters or to appeal to a wider audience. During these changes, characters can be altered, cut, added, and even combined. In the process, movie characters' actions and personalities may become different from their book counterparts. However, for good adaptations, the main characters' basic characteristics and roles in the story, such as protagonist and antagonist, should remain constant. The Hunger Games did a good job of maintaining character personalities, actions, and roles that greatly contributed to the movie's smooth transition from the words on the page to the silver screen. The last principle of JMAG is the setting. When a book has an explicit place and time, the movie adaptation should strive to show that setting in as much detail as possible. Iconic locations, or important locations with connections to the story and/or characters, should especially be depicted with overwhelming justice. A good movie setting is dependent on how the movie directors can use real-world locations, stage sets, and CGI to convince readers that the story world, iconic locations included, is depicted accurately. However, setting may not be the biggest aspect of movie adaptations. In Romeo plus Juliet, the movie takes place in 1990's Verona Beach, Florida, instead of the traditional 1500s Verona, Italy. It wasn't a bad movie, but in all honesty, good setting never hurts the experience. Props to the Lord of the Rings series for their great use of the beautiful scenery of New Zealand, integrated stage sets, and advanced CGI to depict places like the Shire, Rivendell, and Mount Doom. Awards well deserved. For review, the principles of JMAG are spirit, story, characters, and setting, or 2SCS. Spirit is essential. The story should be as faithful as possible. The main characters should maintain their roles and personalities, and good setting depictions are not bad. As long as the common bookworm or movie buff follows JMAG, they will be sure to accurately judge the caliber of any movie adaptation.